The tension in The Young and the Restless next 2-week full April 28 to May 9, 2025 continues to escalate as the dynamics between Victor Newman, Michael Baldwin, and the rest of the characters intensify. Michael Baldwin finds himself in a precarious position, caught between his loyalty to Victor and his personal relationships with Diane Jenkins Abbott and Jack Abbott. As Victor's schemes unfold, Michael is being pulled deeper into a web of manipulation that threatens to tear apart everything he holds dear. Michael's loyalty to Victor Newman has always been a master manipulator, and Michael's blind loyalty to him is beginning to create serious rifts in Michael's personal life. Michael has been drawn into Victor's latest plot against Jabot, and he is now at a crossroads. His loyalty to Victor runs deep, but it's starting to conflict with his relationships with Diane and Jack, two people he cares about immensely. Michael's internal struggle is becoming more and more apparent as he's caught between his duty to Victor and his desire to protect the people he loves. Michael's role in Victor's schemes has always been that of a trusted ally, but as Victor's plans grow more complex, Michael's involvement becomes more risky. He's starting to question the true cost of his loyalty, especially as he sees the damage Victor's plans are causing. The idea of destroying Jabot, something that Michael has always respected, is causing him to rethink his position. However, he's still trying to balance his involvement with Victor while maintaining some semblance of peace with Jack and Diane. It's an impossible situation, and Michael knows it, but he feels trapped by his own sense of duty. Lauren's concerns. Lauren Fenmore Baldwin, Michael's wife, has always been a stabilizing force in his life, but now she finds herself at odds with his actions. She is well aware of the dangers of getting involved in Victor's schemes, having seen the fallout from Victor's manipulations in the past. She's lived through enough of his ruthless tactics to know that Michael's involvement could lead to catastrophic consequences. Lauren is deeply concerned about Michael's role in Victor's plot, and she's doing everything she can to warn him before it's too late. Lauren's fear is justified. She's seen firsthand how Victor can destroy people, and she doesn't want to see her husband become another casualty of Victor's plans. She fears that Michael's desire to protect Victor's interests will ultimately backfire, leaving him with nothing but guilt and regret. Her warnings to Michael are filled with love and concern, but Michael remains steadfast in his belief that he is doing the right thing. However, as the consequences of his actions begin to unfold, it becomes clear that Lauren's fears may not be so far-fetched. The downfall of Jabot. One of the most significant consequences of Michael's involvement with Victor is the potential destruction of Jabot. Victor's vendetta against the Abbott family is well known, and he is willing to do whatever it takes to dismantle their empire. Michael, in his attempt to appease both Victor and his personal connections, is inadvertently helping Victor achieve his goal of destabilizing Jabot. Michael is torn between his loyalty to Victor and his respect for Jack and the Abbott family, but his involvement in Victor's plans puts him in a dangerous position. The tension between Michael and the Abbott family is palpable, and the idea of Michael inadvertently contributing to the destruction of something so important to them is a heartbreaking turn. The fallout from this conflict will likely have long-lasting repercussions for Michael, especially as he watches the people he cares about suffer from the consequences of his actions. Whether Michael can redeem himself and repair the damage he's caused remains to be seen, but it's clear that he is heading down a path with no easy way out. Victor's manipulations. Victor's role in this storyline is as manipulative as ever. While Michael is trying to play both sides, Victor is using him to further his own agenda, with no regard for the damage it may cause. Victor's manipulations have always been about control, and he's not about to let anyone, least of all Michael, stand in the way of his plans. His need to dismantle Jabot and break the Abbott family is driven by personal vendettas, and he sees Michael as a tool to help him achieve that goal. Victor's cold, calculating nature has always been a defining characteristic, and his willingness to use Michael as a pawn in his schemes is no surprise. What's more troubling is the fact that Victor continues to hide his true intentions from Michael, pretending to be a supportive figure while using him for his own gain. Michael is so blinded by his loyalty to Victor that he's unable to see the full extent of the manipulation at play. This only deepens the tragedy of Michael's situation, as he is being used by someone he trusts, and the consequences of that betrayal will undoubtedly be devastating. Lauren's warning about Victor. Despite the deep emotional bond between Michael and Victor, Lauren's warning about the dangers of getting too involved with Victor remains one of the most important messages in this storyline. She knows better than anyone the destructive power Victor holds, and she's determined to keep Michael safe from his influence. But as Michael's involvement with Victor grows deeper, Lauren's warnings seem to fall on deaf ears. She watches helplessly as her husband becomes entangled in Victor's web, and she fears that the damage will be irreparable. Lauren's voice of reason is drowned out by Michael's desire to please Victor and protect his family, but as the stakes continue to rise, it's clear that Lauren's concerns were not unfounded. Victor has a way of turning people into pawns, and Michael is no exception. It's only a matter of time before Michael realizes the full extent of his involvement with Victor, and by then, it may be too late. Nikki's birthday celebration. Despite the chaos surrounding him, Victor is also focused on something personal, his wife, Nikki. As her birthday approaches, Victor is determined to show her just how much he cares. He is planning a grand celebration for her, something that will remind Nikki of his love and devotion. While his manipulations and schemes continue to unfold, this moment of tenderness is a reminder that even someone as ruthless as Victor has a softer side, especially when it comes to the people he loves. Nikki's birthday celebration will likely serve as a momentary respite from the drama, but it also underscores the duality of Victor's character, capable of immense love and loyalty, yet equally capable of betrayal and destruction. The path ahead for Michael. As the storyline progresses, Michael will be faced with difficult choices. His loyalty to Victor is being tested, and the consequences of his actions are becoming more apparent. Can he redeem himself and fix the damage he's caused to the Abbott family? Or will he be forced to live with the repercussions of his decisions, as Victor's manipulation continues to shape his life? Michael's journey is far from over, and the emotional stakes have never been higher. The tension between loyalty, love, and betrayal will continue to drive this storyline, keeping fans on the edge of their seats as they wait to see how Michael's future unfolds. Do you think Michael will find a way to break free from Victor's influence, or will he be trapped in his web of manipulation? How will Lauren's warnings affect his decisions? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. In the latest twists of The Young and the Restless, the tension between Billy Abbott and Phyllis Summers reaches a boiling point, with Phyllis's stubbornness and Billy's increasing frustration threatening to unravel their professional and personal lives. The ongoing conflict at Abbott Communications reveals the cracks in their working relationship, especially as Phyllis insists on involving her son, Daniel Romalotti, in the business despite his clear lack of interest. Meanwhile, Billy, ever the businessman, is contemplating the future of the company and his role in making it a success, which may no longer include Phyllis. Phyllis's reluctance to listen. Phyllis's desire to have Daniel join Abbott Communications might stem from a motherly impulse, wanting to secure a future for her son in the family business. However, her approach comes across as too forceful, especially given Daniel's lack of interest and Billy's dissatisfaction with her management style. Daniel, though an accomplished individual in his own right, has made it clear that his future lies elsewhere, yet Phyllis refuses to accept his disinterest. This could prove to be a critical misstep for Phyllis, as she fails to respect Daniel's autonomy and her actions could potentially alienate him further. Billy has grown increasingly weary of Phyllis's persistent interference in the direction of the business, and her refusal to adapt to his leadership style is pushing him to the brink. Billy is not one to tolerate a lack of cooperation when it comes to running a business, and the tension between him and Phyllis is palpable. With Phyllis disregarding both Billy and Daniel's wishes, it's only a matter of time before she faces the consequences of her actions. Billy is seriously considering replacing her with Sally Spectra, a move that could shake up the business dynamic at Abbott Communications in ways that Phyllis is not prepared for. Billy's frustration and potential replacements. Billy Abbott is someone who thrives on change and innovation, and he has little patience for stagnation. Phyllis's ongoing refusal to adapt or acknowledge the needs of the business, and especially her insistence on pushing Daniel into a role he clearly doesn't want, is quickly becoming untenable for him. Billy has expressed his frustration with Phyllis and even entertained the idea of replacing her with Sally Spectra, a move that would signal a drastic shift in Abbott communications. While Billy and Sally share a complicated history, his decision to consider her for a more prominent role in the company speaks to his growing disillusionment with Phyllis's leadership. Sally, while having her own personal and professional baggage, is someone who understands the importance of adapting to the company's needs and navigating challenges with a clear focus on growth. She's shown herself to be a valuable asset to the businesses she's worked with, and Billy believes that her fresh perspective could benefit Abbott Communications in ways that Phyllis has failed to do. It's clear that Billy sees Phyllis as a liability, and he may very well pull the trigger on this decision if she continues to defy his authority. Phyllis's potential downfall. As the pressure builds, Phyllis may be walking a fine line between assertiveness and recklessness. She's a woman who has always fought for what she believes is hers, but in this situation, her refusal to back down could ultimately lead to her downfall. Billy's growing frustration with her actions, combined with the possibility of him bringing in Sally, could leave Phyllis in a vulnerable position. If she doesn't change course and find a way to work with Billy, she risks losing not just her role in Abbott Communications but also her grip on the power she's held for so long. Furthermore, Phyllis's emotional reactions could complicate matters even further. Known for her fiery temper and determination to get what she wants, Phyllis may not take well to the idea of being replaced or marginalized. If she feels backed into a corner, she could react in ways that further alienate those around her, including Billy, Daniel, and even Sally. Her desperation to maintain control could drive her to make decisions that hurt her relationships and her career, leading to the ultimate collapse of her position in Abbott Communications. Victor's role and Phyllis's path forward. While Phyllis is dealing with her personal and professional frustrations, the larger picture involves the shifting power dynamics within the business world of Genoa City. Victor Newman, as always, has his hand in many pots, and his ability to influence those around him could play a key role in how things unfold for Phyllis. With Victor's manipulations at play, Phyllis could find herself in an even more precarious position if he decides to intervene in her business dealings. Her need to control outcomes might clash with Victor's cold, calculating nature, and that could push her further into a corner. Phyllis has always been a survivor, but this latest chapter might be her toughest battle yet. With Billy considering replacing her and the business world closing in around her, she must find a way to adapt or face the consequences. Her relationship with Daniel is at a crossroads, and her struggles with Billy could prove to be the tipping point that forces her to reevaluate her approach to life and business. What's next for Phyllis and Abbott Communications? The future of Phyllis's role in Abbott Communications is in jeopardy, and the next few episodes are likely to be critical in determining her fate. Billy's increasing frustration with her and the potential for Sally to step into a bigger role raises the stakes for Phyllis. The question remains whether she will listen to those around her, adjust her approach, and find a way to collaborate with Billy, or whether she will continue down a path of defiance that leads to her ultimate downfall. As the drama continues to unfold, fans will be on the edge of their seats, waiting to see what Phyllis's next move will be and whether she can reclaim control of her destiny or if she will be pushed out by the forces surrounding her. Will Phyllis bend to the pressure and collaborate with Billy? Or will she go down swinging, risking everything for her independence? And, more importantly, can she salvage her career, or is her time at Abbott Communications running out? Only time will tell, but the coming episodes will surely bring some shocking revelations and intense moments for Phyllis and the Abbott family.